Welcome back. I think we've re-established contact with Rod Liddle. Rod, I was about to ask you, we need to move on in just a second, but to go back to the case of our friend Ardit Binaj, 32 years old he is, who the ECHR has just forced us to keep as one of our residents, so we can't get rid of him now. On a general basis, what do we get out of membership of the ECHR?
We get the knowledge that we're a civilised country. That was always the idea. And it was the idea when we signed up to the convention back in, the 50s, since which time, of course, the convention has been, is now totally outdated and not fit for purpose. But, there is a case for saying that the nations should sign up to something which means that they treat refugees and people from abroad with a degree of respect and care. But this ignores the fact that we have 600,000 people coming into the country every year and, 50,000 by boats full of, young men from the Maghreb and the Levant, who may not necessarily share all of our cultural values, Kevin. It's just that the times have changed so very, very rapidly. But worse than that, the judges have changed as well. There is no longer a sensible discussion of weighing the rights of the host nation up against the rights of the individual, as we've seen with the case of Ardit. It's an absurdity.
Yeah, exactly. As I say, if we left the ECHR and actually, whisper it quietly, made a few decisions on behalf of ourselves, this country wouldn't fall apart at the seams, and it wouldn't mean we abrogate our devotion to human rights. You don't have to be in a club to believe in human rights and the dignities of refugees. So I don't really get it. James Cleverly...
No.
James Cleverly, who now seems to be in pole position, he wants to stay in the ECHR. So does Kemi Badenoch. But I just cannot for the life of me see why. I agree with you, Rod. If we could... If we could trust the judges, if we could trust them to make sensible decisions, then membership of the ECHR might make more sense. But they're making mad decisions like this that don't do us any favours at all. So why?
No, I think you're absolutely right. But I also think it's a case that, let's be honest about James Cleverly. He is a walking affront to the Trade Descriptions Act. It's a real problem. Kemi Badenoch's slightly different. I think her point isn't that the ECHR is a wonderful font of liberal affection for mankind. It's that it's not our main problem, and I think she's right about that.
Yeah, I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Yeah.
We have 600,000 people coming into this country every year legally. That's the problem. That's the really, really big problem. And there are other problems as well associated with our inability to get rid of convicted criminals. Our own lawyers in our own courts will stop us getting rid of people.
It's just,
that's happened time and time again, as Priti Patel found out when she was Home Secretary.
Yeah, so Badenoch, we must move on, but Badenoch said a couple of weeks ago, he said, all my rivals, all these Tories who want to leave the ECHR, they're just looking for easy answers. And I was thinking to myself, well, yeah, so am I. It works for me. Why don't we just quit? But I think we'll be stuck in it for some time to come. Let's quickly talk about, he won't like this, old sleazy Starmer. Today, Rod, a new poll has revealed that the vast majority of voters now believe that Free Gear Keir is sleazier than his predecessor, Rishi Sunak. And the government is under increasing pressure to reveal details of exactly how Lord Ali benefits from all the money he gives to the Labour Party. And my favourite new revelation is there's a new book out called Landslide, the Inside Story of the 2024 election. It's by political journalist Tim Ross. And it chronicles how Ali helped draw up the all-important timetable for the first 100 days Keir would be in power. How do you think that's working out for them? Maybe they should have talked to someone else about it.
That's gone really well for them, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's worth his weight in gold, Lord Ali, isn't he? It's remarkable. I mean, there's no question that Starmer is sleazier than Sunak. The public has got it right. I mean, it has been, I think, the most calamitous start to a new government. Possibly excluding Liz Truss, but in a way that wasn't a new government, but a new government coming in. I've never known anything like it in my lifetime. And you try to think back, how long, Chamberlain, maybe? No, not even that, not even Eden. It's been the most calamitous start to a new government that any of us have ever seen or heard about. And it's only going to get worse. And I don't think the defenestration of Sue Gray is the end of the matter either. There is clearly kind of internecine hatred bubbling in that Westminster bubble. And it's going to... my guess is that Sir Keir probably won't be leading Labour into the next election,
Yeah, what I feel about Sue Gray was that Keir Starmer made the mistake of hiring a career civil servant, a lifelong civil servant, and expecting her to actually do anything. Civil servants don't ever do anything. They have no ability to put anything into motion. Therefore, I think her inactivity or her inability to do anything caused her own downfall. She's not even any good at office politics. Clearly what was going on between her and Morgan McSweeney was an age-old office battle, a power struggle, and she was useless and completely lost it. So,
yes.
But as you said...
You mean Boaty McBoatface?
Yeah.
I mean, Morgan McSweeney. I mean, I've never heard of him before. I'm sure he's very, very exciting. And I'd very much like to share a night out with him, obviously.
Yeah, right.
But I think we maybe, and it's a bit late in the day, ought to look back.
Come on, don't do this.
At the huge trouble with back in 2021. I think we ought to re-examine what her actions were.
Yeah,
against Boris Johnson, against a Conservative administration. And I think we'll find that she's...
Well, this is what we call, folks, a very, very bad line. So I think we got the most of it. I think we better move on. And a big thank you to Rod Liddle. He'll be back next Tuesday.